finally got a pen I've had my eye on since the summertime, and it was in extremely limited editions. Not numbered or anything, but just limited because of the fact that the materials that go into making this Momento Zero Grande in primary manipulation was a bit limited. And I don't know how long the relationship between Leonardo and Jonathon Brookes is going to last, or how long Leonardo plans on continuing to use Brookes's materials to make pens. So I felt really special getting this. The thing is that I was at Dromgold's over the weekend, as you may or may not know. It's located in Houston, Texas, my hometown. What's up? So I asked Michael over there. Michael's, runs the store along with his father, Larry. Great guys. I said, Michael, do you have any of those Leonardo pens? And he knew exactly what I was talking about. I didn't even have to say another word. He went and grabbed them. He brought me back 2 pens. That's all they had left because the rest had sold out. And apparently that's the case with a lot of places who are getting in these Leonardo primary manipulation pens, is that they just sell out. I was like, oh my gosh. So I got one. I had to. I was hoping I could see one while I was there in person at the store, and I did. And I was like, I have to have it. So I got it. Let's go ahead and unbox it, and we'll take a look at the nib and all that stuff. So it does come with a special outer sleeve for this box, which mimics the patterns of the primary manipulation material, which is kind of this really cool swirly pattern. So slide this off. And we have a pretty austere black box with, I don't know if you can see it, has a Leonardo logo on top of it, just so you know what y'all getting. So when I open this up, got another black box, but this time we have it and it opens up like a clamshell. Just cuz. All right, ready? Here it goes. There's paperwork in there. I'll make sure that doesn't fall out. So here's that. Paperwork. Pen. Yes. All right. So the pen comes wrapped in a cellophane sleeve, and it even has its own bottle of ink, which is Leonardo Black. I personally today will not be filling it with Leonardo Black because I kind of feel like this pen deserves something with a little more color. And looking at this pen, yes, I've already seen it because Doug's in the store looking at it. Sorry. I can't help it. I have to be like this because it gets me through the day, y'all. Okay, so here's my pen. I believe this one is the Vesuvio because of the color scheme. We've got more reds and oranges in here. There's even some greens, not a lot of green. The Stromboli pen apparently has more greens and purples to it, and the Vesuvio is more reds and oranges and mixed with some other colors. So I'm pretty certain, I wasn't certain at first, but I'm about 90% certain this is the Vesuvio version. So, but I did pick up ink to go with it that I think will look kind of nice. It's a green ink, but it's a kind of a darker green ink, and because I just don't want to put like a black ink in this. I think it would be great, but so I'm trying to, I guess, match this little section right here, and so I'm going to put Diamine Salamander green in it, courtesy of Dromgold's again. It is quite a sight, isn't it? And I have to tell you that pictures and video do not do this pen any justice. And even this section has a little bit of that swirly action. So the nib I got is the elastic nib. It is a gold nib. It's a 14 karat gold nib, fine, with a little flex. The feed is also ebonite, so hopefully that'll keep the nib nice and wet and let that flow of ink just flow. Yeah, let it flow. I love this pen. It's so gorgeous. It does post rather deeply, and which makes a nice, comfortable pen. So I like all the silver trim on it. I like the silver nib. I couldn't see this in with a gold trim. I mean, if it had more reds and oranges, I could see it with the gold trim, but yeah, I think the silver's great. It is a piston filler, and it actually holds a whopping 1.5 milliliters of ink, which is quite a bit of ink. So this should last you, you know, the ink inside should last you quite a bit. It's too cool. You know, I'm trying to think what the material reminds me of. It's like a jawbreaker, or I don't know. It's like kind of, but it's just so cool. I mean, I could sit here and just stare at the way that, you know, all the movement in here. It's like, you know, to me, it kind of looks like a mix of oil paint. Like, you know, put oil paint on a palette and you get the brush and just kind of mix it through. And that's what I see here. You know, it's like taking a little thumbnail of a painting and then blowing it up onto the pen. So I find it very exciting. Of course, yes, I relate everything to painting and making art. You know, it's kind of my field of study. So yeah, everything's art history to me. What's really interesting about the Leonardo using the Jonathon Brookes material, the primary manipulation, is that there's no pen exactly alike, because it's all pretty much the material itself. It's all made by chance, you know. So well, that's very Dada-esque, isn't it? It's all by chance. So the way that the material ends up appearing, it's all by the chance of the way the materials tend to move around and then solidify. Some parts of the material, though, which is kind of cool, it's in this area mostly, is translucent, so you can see the nib under there. The part of the barrel, it doesn't seem translucent enough where I'd be able to tell my ink level, so that's unfortunate. But I mean, I could live with it. You know, I guess I'll know when it runs out of ink and it starts running dry. I'm really curious to try out this nib, and the reason for that is I've been on kind of a flex nib kick. So starting, you know, with, of course, the first one I tried out, which was kind of a bummer. Well, I'm talking about the first and second versions of it, was the Conklin Omniflex. So now their third version seems to work a lot better for me. And then there was the Montegrappa Internazionale flex nib, which was great. And then there was another flex nib I got recently, and I can't think of what it was. I'll have to look through my videos to figure out what it is. So now I've got the elastic nib, which I'm really excited to try out. And so it's kind of like I've got this little miniature competition between flex nibs going. So it's like a private competition here happening at my house. I know, it's yeah, it's just so exciting here. So exciting. I'm gonna go ahead and ink up this pen, and let's see how this elastic nib writes. Thank you for joining me for this look at the Leonardo Momento Zero Grande plus Jonathon Brookes Carolina Pens primary manipulation material. That was a mouthful. I'd have to say I kind of liked the elastic nib. I think it did rather well. And so if this is a pen that you're interested in having, good luck, man. It's kind of limited. It's going to be a little hard to find. Maybe you can find some for resale after, you know, some people will get pens and they don't quite like it or something, and maybe you can find one, you know, somebody getting rid of one or whatever. But I have to say it's a very cool pen. It's definitely going to be an eye catcher. Retails for $635. So if you could locate one and get it brand new, that is what it's retailing at. But yeah, I highly recommend. And I mean, I don't know if y'all already know this or not, but Leonardo is one of my favorite brands. So of course, you know, I have to, you know, I try to get what I can afford as far as that's concerned. But this is my first gold Leonardo nib, so I'm pretty happy about that, and I'm happy with it. Well, that's all I've got. And thanks for watching. And that's how the ink flows.